Aha! It's recording! Success! How's it going, world? Well, welcome to Carpo's Philosophy Corner. I had a couple of things I wanted to talk about in a couple of videos lately, but I've just been so distracted with other things. Every time I get excited to, or have an inspiration to make a video, I get pulled out to do something else, which is good. Means I guess I'm staying busy, but I'll sit here with my pipe and puff away and think about it. Whoa, big old bug. What do you want? Yeah, I just wanted to share some thoughts about life, I guess. Nothing in particular, then I don't feel tied down to a particular subject. Life has been good lately. As a question, if you're wondering about this pipe, it's actually not a pipe. It's really just an e-pen, an e-cigarette. I went down to buy one of these things. It's a pipe modification, a pipe mod fitting for it. So you push the button on the top and you can smoke it like a pipe. Because since I quit smoking, I've been using an e-pen, and it's really helped me immensely. I mean, it takes away the craving for any type of cigarette, but keeps that oral fixation. Which I know is bad. It's still an addiction, and I really thought about it a lot. And I thought, we're addicted to, security blankets and whatnot. It's not even the nicotine or the cigarette itself, it's just the having something. But I found since I started smoking these that I kind of hold them to my lip more, like when I'm thinking. So I decided to go down and buy the pipe piece, and of course with all the parts it was like $50, $60. I said screw it, and I went and bought a piece of wood, I took a piece of hemp stem. This is from my garden last year, my cannabis plants. It's a Crystallica plant. And just take the pen, and actually the battery just slips. It's just a standard battery. And I just slipped it right in here. And here's the thing, it's not a natural thing for me to push down on the top when I would smoke. So, the other pipe mod, you'd be pushing strange, I don't know, for me that's weird. This way it's right along the side of it. So the button's right there where my thumb would naturally go. Anyway, so that's that story. Since I started my Kratom business, I guess I just wanted to say thanks first off to all the customers who have had an overwhelming response to it. I was actually had a lot of emails to answer and a lot of people to give, answer questions for and whatnot. I can see why Ethan from Herb Research, who is my vendor, I can see why he shut down his website to new customers, because it becomes overwhelming. Everybody wants to know everything about Kratom and what kind is good for them, and it's like I can't answer those questions. I don't know. I do my best to help people out, but then there's the legal issue, and technically you're not supposed to consume the substance in a lot of places, so there's that gray area. But overall, I've had a crazy, overwhelming response, and if I hope for the people who have ordered already, I've sent out your packages, except for the 2 that I emailed today, and I'm really going to stay on top of this and try to send everything out priority mail and get it out in a couple days, because I know how it is when you want to get your package in the mail. But I think this might be a good thing for everyone. I also wanted to say, I don't know if you're watching, Clint, but thank you so much for your efforts helping me set up a website. It gives me faith. I was talking with a sub today about having faith in people, and how, a lot of people think you really have to know someone well to trust them, and you don't. And I always kind of thought that, and then I realized some of the people you know the best you can't even trust sometimes. It's a matter of just knowing real people. And I had 2 different people offer to help me build websites, because I really wanted to get one going. To me, it's all Greek. I don't know anything about that stuff. I know you can buy a web hosting thing and get your domain name, but it's just kind of overwhelming for a guy who doesn't do computer stuff. So I actually broke down and I went and did it. I spent the money and bought a domain name, carposbotanicals.com, and then I proceeded to buy a year of domain hosting, or web hosting, I guess, and then he's going to set the whole thing up for me, Clint. And it's just so awesome. I offered to pay him, and he said he does it because he appreciates some of the videos that I've had in the past, or, that have helped him learn about Kratom and whatnot. And I thought, this is awesome. This is the kind of stuff I do. I want to help people out, and I don't want to, you don't always have to charge people, but we have this image that society is money hungry. And it saddens me when people say, that everyone's greedy and everyone's selfish, because it's not that way. I mean, me starting my business has nothing to do with me trying to get rich or make money off people. On the contrary, I wish I didn't have to charge for anything. In fact, if I was a multimillionaire, I would probably just buy shitloads of Kratom and just mail it out for free to people, or just do it for the sake of helping people, because that's what I'm really all about. And it's unfortunate that we have to be caught between that helping people and needing to feed our families. I have 2 kids and a wife and a house. I have bills to pay, I'm usually broke, and hopefully I can get past that one day and be able to at least make enough to survive. But for now, I'm just, doing my best, starting over. I guess when I was a carpenter, I was doing pretty well, and I had my own company, and I got sciatica. It just kept getting worse, and the more lumber and lifted, the more stuff I did, the worse it hurt. And my mental state was suffering because of my physical state. And about 1.5 years ago, I just had to say, all right, I just can't do this anymore. And I was out of commission for a few months, really couldn't even walk. And looking back on this, during that time, I took so much Kratom, it helped me immensely with my pain and my state of mind. And today, I love to hear stories of people who were able to take Kratom and to help them with pain. But not just Kratom, all different types of herbs to help with anxiety. It's through herbs like Kratom where I've learned about things like mucuna, which I've been taking it for about 2 to 3 weeks now. And I've been taking it regularly. The first couple of days I seemed to actually notice it, and then now I don't. Well, isn't that how all good things work? They fade to the background of your consciousness, and they become part of who you are. You might get a better night's sleep, you might be in generally a better state of mind, and you may forget about that and forget what you're taking that's doing that. And then maybe you stop taking it one day, and then you fall into a depression and you can't figure out why. Anything that you consume for a long period of time, you can have withdrawals from. Your body becomes accustomed. We adapt to our environments, we adapt to whatever we consume. This is why people can smoke cigarettes their whole life and never get cancer and never even get sick. It's your body finds a way to accommodate that. Then you hear a story about somebody who smoked for 50 years, 2 packs a day, then they quit and got cancer within a month. Well, yes, that can happen because that has to do more probably with bodily shock, changing the chemistry of your body. I mean, it probably damage your DNA, especially if you're older. It's not an excuse to not quit smoking. I've heard my mom use that one, and other people have said that, once you smoke for a certain period of time, it's a good idea to just keep smoking because you can get sick and if you quit. But to me, quitting smoking is one of the most important things I've done. I want to share vaping with people because I thought it was kind of cheesy at first until I started doing it. My lungs are completely clear. When I started smoking cigarettes again, I had quit for 2 years before that, and I smoked for like the last year up until a month or 2 ago. And I was only smoking 4 or 5 a day in the end there, but I was kind of slipping up to 6 or so, and like, okay, I gotta stop. And I realized that it's not even the cigarettes, it's not the addiction, to tobacco. It's the addiction to doing something. Just like sometimes when I smoke pot, I don't even want to be stoned. I just smoke it because. So I'll smoke the Harlequin Tsunami, which has no THC in it, just so I can get that, just to be smoking something. But now that I can hook up my hash fitting to this, or my tobacco fitting, I call it the digital blunt. Take a pull off of your vape pen, and you take a pull off of your hash pen, and your vape pen again. It's just like a blunt wrap, right? Sorry, only a stoner would understand. Some of the jokes that I crack are like something that only, users of Kratom or users of cannabis would understand. But then again, I try to carry that into all the different, I talk about so many different subjects that I can never, never cater to one idea or another. And that's what I love about YouTube. I'm never going to let YouTube determine how I, what I talk about or why I should talk about it. But anyway, I just like to be a free spirit, a free soul. I'm constantly changing. My ideals and my thoughts on life are always changing. I'm into totally different things all the time, moving around, but there's one consistent thing, and that's that I'm an honest person, and I respect trustworthiness among other people is one of the most important things. In other words, the values that I have are the values of integrity, of family, of respect. When I slip up on my own values, I notice it, and that's how I know that those are values to me, if that makes sense. When something happens where I do something and I feel guilty about it, or I think about it, why did I react that way? Sometimes that means I'm affecting my own values, my own integrity. And so I've learned to become more receptive to that, I guess, more sensitive to my own thoughts, my own emotions, and observing myself from the outside. And this has helped me to become such a happier person. I can never express the amount of gratitude I have towards just understanding myself a little bit better, so I can try to understand other people. And so 11:11. Anyway, I have a couple things that I've got to get done, so I just wanted to make a quick video just to kind of touch base and think about life for a minute and say hi to everybody, which always makes me feel kind of cheesy, because when I make a video saying hi to people, I'm like, wait a minute, this is off track of making a video about a subject. Now I'm assuming that people give a shit about what I have to say as opposed to a subject in particular. I mean, you might notice in the past I haven't talked a lot about my personal life. I don't talk a lot about what's going on because I figure people don't need that. People want to hear things that, ideas and thoughts, but I try to keep it off the personal tip because people become way too egotistical that way, and that's not me. It's not who I am. I'm headstrong and I'm definitely stubborn, but I'm not arrogant. And I just think people are people. I do my best to understand people for what they are and who they are, and to not judge, and to be kind. And that's really what life's about at this point, and I hope it remains that way, because I never want to grow to where I start to distrust the people around me again, like I did one time when I was wronged when I was younger, and I had been stolen from and ripped off a couple times, and I built this resentment towards people in general. Now I can look back on that and see why people act the way they do sometimes. And it's sad, but we are just humans. Can't forget that. Sometimes I think we have too high of expectations of ourselves as a species. Like, what do you expect us to do with all these toys that we just popped into existence? Computers and cars, and I mean, just think about it, Anyway, I'll talk to you all later, and I hope you're all doing fantastic.